Fonzie stands at Arnold's jukebox, hits it with his fist, and the music starts. That signature move hides a production secret. The actor performing it couldn't ride the motorcycle parked 3 feet away. These are 20 hidden details you completely missed in Happy Days. Number 20. Seasons 1 and 2 open with a mechanical arm dropping a record onto a jukebox turntable. The label is readable. It says Happy Days, lyrics by Norman Gimbel, music composed by Charles Fox. But Rock Around the Clock, not the Happy Days theme, is actually playing. Poser Charles Fox confirmed the record was custom pressed exclusively for this shot and never commercially released. Fox later donated this physical 45 to the Smithsonian, where it sits alongside Fonzie's leather jacket. Freeze the opening credits at the turntable drop in any season 1 or 2 episode. The label mismatch is clearly readable. The show's most watched moment contains a prop that contradicts itself hundreds of times. This wasn't the only thing hiding in plain sight. Number 19. Every Happy Days script spelled it as hey. Henry Winkler elongated and transformed it organically during filming without telling anyone. The evolution is traceable. Episode 2, The Lemon, shows Winkler's hey almost stretched enough to qualify. By episode 6, The Deadly Dares, the definitive Ayyyy arrived. Winkler told the Television Academy Foundation they would write paragraphs for him, and he reduced language to sound. The woe came from his horseback riding hobby. Compare episodes 2 and 6 side by side. You can hear the catchphrase being invented in real time. Television's most famous catchphrase was an actor quietly rewriting lines the writers didn't know he was changing. Another signature move was equally spontaneous. Number 18. The script for the second day of production read, Fonzie combs his hair. Winkler walked to the mirror, pulled out his comb, paused, then put it away because his hair was already perfect. Director Jerry Paris and producers were stunned. The bit became one of television's most repeated gags, appearing in opening credits for years. Winkler established 4 self-imposed rules: never comb hair on camera, never chew gum, never wear a Garrison belt, never carry rolled cigarettes in his sleeve. The opening credits montage from seasons 3 through 10 features the mirror gag as a signature clip. Every time Fonzie looks cool without effort, it's because Winkler decided every actor who had ever played this part did those things so he wouldn't. But the set itself contained mistakes nobody caught. Number 17. Arnold's drive-in is meticulously dressed as a 1950s hangout. Positioned far camera right sits a Nippet pinball machine, manufactured in 1972, 17 years after the show's setting. The show is set in the mid-1950s. It's visible in hundreds of episodes across 11 seasons. The machine was likely a cheap set dressing grab from Paramount's prop department. Production designer James Shanahan missed the date discrepancy entirely. Look to the far right of Arnold's interior in any season 3 or later episode. On HD remasters, the manufacturer plate is readable. The error appears in every scene filmed at Arnold's for nearly a decade. The show's most familiar location contains one of its most blatant anachronisms. Nobody on set caught it for years. The anachronisms got stranger. Number 16. In My Favorite Orkin, Season 5. Episode 22. Robin Williams Mork sits in the Cunningham living room watching television. He's watching the Andy Griffith Show and comments he likes the character Opie, played by young Ron Howard, the same actor sitting beside him as Richie Cunningham. Mork even questions why an Earth boy has a Martian name. This is also a timeline error. Happy Days is set in the 1950s, but the Andy Griffith Show premiered in 1960. The TV screen is visible in the scene. Pause and you can see the Andy Griffith footage. The crossover moment is a triple impossibility. Wrong timeline, wrong reality, and nobody in the scene acknowledges it. But the biggest costume impossibility came from a network band. Number 15. Fonzie is synonymous with his leather jacket. A BC's standards and practices refused to let him wear leather, fearing he'd look like a gang member. In early season 1, Fonzie wears a pale blue McGregor windbreaker with the collar turned up, visual evidence of the band. Creator Garry Marshall found a loophole. Leather was safety equipment when near a motorcycle. Marshall called the writer's room from a Paramount lobby payphone. Never write another scene without his motorcycle. This is why Fonzie's bike appears inside Arnold's, inside homes, and in places motorcycles have no business being. Compare season 1, episodes 1 through 3 with season 2 onward. The costume change marks Marshall's victory. Every impossible motorcycle placement is the result of Marshall weaponizing a loophole to beat network censorship. Number 14. Marshall envisioned Fonzie as tall, blonde, Hollywood handsome, like Sylvester Stallone or Perry King. Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees was considered the frontrunner. Dolenz confirmed to People in 2025. Supposedly it was between me and Henry. Michael Nesmith also auditioned. Winkler arrived in Los Angeles September 18th, 1973. The Happy Days audition was only his second in Hollywood. He walked in with hair to his shoulders, a sweat stain, and 4 lines of dialogue. Casting director Ronnie Fagan saw something Marshall didn't expect. Winkler's physicality as Fonzie, short, dark-haired, compact, is the visual opposite of what Marshall originally wanted. The character who defined cool was cast against the creator's vision. vision. Another audition was even more unconventional. Number 13. When Marshall told Williams to take a seat during his audition, Williams sat upside down in the chair on his head. He then pretended to drink water using his finger as a straw. Marshall's reaction: he was the only alien who auditioned. The Happy Days writer's room hated the My Favorite Orkin script. Anson Williams called it the worst script in the history of Happy Days. Then Williams transformed the material so completely that the studio audience of 300 people stood and applauded, unprecedented for a sitcom taping. Watch Williams's physicality in My Favorite Orkin. The controlled chaos is all improvisation against a script the writers considered unfilmable. But Fonzie's defining prop was equally impossible. Number 12. Fonzie coolly rolls up on his motorcycle in countless scenes. Winkler was terrified of motorcycles and never learned to ride one properly. His dyslexia affected motor coordination, making it impossible to distinguish gas from gear from brake. On a soundstage night shoot, he gunned the engine, lost control, slid under a truck, and nearly struck cinematographer Robert Caramichael. Winkler recalled, "Everybody was in a panic that the bike was fine because it was rented." He rode the motorcycle exactly once for approximately 17 seconds in the opening credits. For the remaining decade, the motorcycle was mounted on a wheeled platform pulled by a truck. In writing shots from season 3 onward, look for unnaturally smooth movement. Every scene where Fonzie looks effortlessly cool on his bike is an optical illusion hiding an actor's fear. Number 11. Howard and Marion Cunningham defined wholesome marriage on television. Marion Ross and Tom Bosley barely tolerated each other for the first 2 seasons. Ross revealed in her memoir, "And on Today, Tom didn't particularly want me to play his wife, so he was tough on me for a while." Bosley had won a Tony Award and sort of scorned Ross, who had been a struggling contract player. Ross's coping mechanism: "I got some needlepoint so I could keep out of trouble between scenes." By season 3, they bonded genuinely. The body language between Howard and Marion in season 1 versus season 4 shows a visible warmth shift. The chemistry viewers trusted was manufactured under real tension for 2 full seasons, but the biggest on-screen change was a vanishing child. Number 10. The family sitcom centered on the Cunningham household. Cunninghams originally had 3 children. Eldest son Chuck appeared in 9 season 1 episodes, then 2 season 2 episodes with a different actor. Actor Gavin O'Herlihy quit voluntarily. At 20 years old, that's not the gig you want. After the second actor, Randolph Roberts, lasted 2 episodes, Marshall simply erased Chuck from existence. In the series finale passages, Howard Cunningham says both of our children are now married, explicitly denying Chuck ever existed. In a famous outtake, Bosley ad-libbed, "Wait a minute, where's Chuck?" Watch season 1 episodes featuring O'Herlihy in the Cunningham kitchen, then watch the finale's 2 children line. This phenomenon became the TV trope Chuck Cunningham syndrome, the definitive term for characters who vanish without explanation. Number 9. The Cunningham living room is one of television's most recognizable sets. When Happy Days switched from single camera to 3 camera for season 3, the entire set was rebuilt as a mirror image. In seasons 1 and 2, the staircase sat to the left of the front door. In season 3, the staircase moved to the right, the fireplace vanished, and a window replaced a closet. The set was rearranged to accommodate studio audience sightline. Freeze any season 1 living room scene, then any season 4 scene. The staircase has switched sides. Additionally, exterior shots show the driveway on the right, while the interior places the garage entrance on the right from inside, a geometric impossibility. The show's most familiar location contains an architectural contradiction visible in every episode for 8 seasons. Number 8. By 1976, Fonzie had become a cultural phenomenon. A BC programming chief, Fred Silverman, pushed to rename the series Fonzie's Happy Days. Ron Howard threatened to walk. "My ego wouldn't allow for that. I wasn't bluffing. I would have left." Winkler told ABC, "If you do that, it is an insult to everybody I'm working with." Marshall refused, writing it would be insulting to Ron, our kind and steady star. A BC's compromise, suggested by Marshall, was moving Fonzie into the apartment above the Cunningham's garage. Starting season 3, episode 1, Fonzie moves in. Every scene in Fonzie's apartment is the physical result of this corporate battle. The garage apartment that became iconic only exists because 3 people independently refused to let the network steal the show's name. The network got its way with something else. Number 7. Fonzie became the most beloved children's character on television. This created a paradox. He was a former gang member and high school dropout. The solution was a deliberate, systematic character overhaul. Fonzie got his GED on screen, got a library card in hardcover season 5, and declared reading is cool. He became a teacher. He ate vegetables on camera. Marshall was explicitly approached by educational advocates to use the character as social influence. Early season 1, Fonzie references membership in 2 separate gangs. By season 6, he's a moral authority figure. Watch season 1's The Deadly Dares back to back with season 5's hardcover. The character arc wasn't organic storytelling. It was corporate and social engineering driven by audience demographics. Number 6. The enduring claim, "Joni loves Chachi," Chachi was the #1 show in South Korea because Chachi sounds like a Korean word. Marshall made the whole thing up as a promotional joke. Snopes confirmed the show never aired on regular South Korean television. It ran only on AFKN, American Forces Korean Network, available exclusively to military personnel, broadcast in English without subtitle. Marshall and Scott Baio repeated it in interviews until it calcified into accepted fact. The actual show lasted 17 episodes before cancellation. No visual verification possible, which is itself the point. The famous fact has no supporting evidence because it never happened. One of television's most repeated trivia facts was a marketing lie that outlived the show itself. The show's most famous moment has an equally surprising origin. Number 5. Hollywood, Part 3, Season 5. Episode 3 shows Fonzie water skiing over a shark. The episode exists because Winkler's father relentlessly pressured Henry to tell producers about his water skiing ability. After the 50th time, Winkler mentioned it. He was then skiing at Paradise Cove, Malibu, wearing a leather jacket with the lining ripped out, destroying one of the show's 7 jackets. Winkler performed all skiing himself, but not the jump. The phrase was coined in 1985 by University of Michigan student Sean Connolly, popularized via jumptheshark.com. Writer Fred Fox Jr. defended it. The episode drew 30 million viewers. The moment that became shorthand for creative decline was actually a ratings triumph that kept the show in the top 25 for 5 more seasons. Number 4. Fonzie's monosyllabic cool defined the character. Winkler has severe dyslexia that went undiagnosed until he was 31 years old, 7 seasons into the show. His parents called him dumb dog in German, believing he was lazy. He didn't read a book cover to cover until age 31. He described his process. I read the scripts very slowly over and over again. I read one word at a time. His dyslexia directly shaped Fonzie. They would write paragraphs for me, and I reduced language to sound, like Ayyyy or whoa. The mirror comb gag, the jukebox hit, the thumbs up reduced Winkler's reliance on scripted dialogue. When the show switched to live audience, Howard covered for him instinctively. Watch any Fonzie scene. The brevity of dialogue, the reliance on physical comedy, the sound-based catchphrases all read differently. Number 3. Howard was the show's steady center as Richie Cunningham. At a network event, ABC distributed identical wallets to every cast member, except Winkler, who received an expensive VCR worth thousands of dollars. Howard told Graham Norton, "They started treating me with a lot of disrespect from a business standpoint." The VCR symbolized what had become obvious. To ABC, Fonzie was the show. ABC refused to let him direct, seeing him pretty much as Richie. Howard left after season 7. Winkler learned via phone booth call on stage 19. Howard's directorial breakthrough night shift starred Winkler and only got greenlit because Winkler said yes. Winkler is the godfather of Bryce Dallas Howard. The friendship that defined the show survived the corporate disrespect that ended it. Number 2. In 2011, Ross learned Happy Days themed slot machines existed in Las Vegas. Players won jackpots when 5 Marion Rosses were rolled, and she'd never been paid a cent. Ross, Don Most, Anson Williams, Aaron Moran, and the estate of Bosley filed a $10 million lawsuit against CBS. The suit covered decades of merchandise, t-shirts, lunchboxes, dolls, trading cards, comic books, DVDs, and slot machines. Their contracts guaranteed 5% of net merchandising proceeds. CBS claimed it owed each actor only $8,500 to $9,000. The case settled July 2012. Each actor received $65,000 plus CBS's promise to honor contract terms. The wholesome family show generated millions in merchandise revenue while systematically underpaying the people whose faces sold it. Number 1. The series finale passages, May 8, 1984, was meant to honor the Cunningham family. Tom Bosley's Howard Cunningham delivers a speech about being proud of his 2 kids, Richie and Joni. 3 children existed in season 1. 2 different actors played Chuck. Both quit. The writers simply stopped mentioning him. By the finale, the show rewrote its own canon so thoroughly that the father was scripted to deny his eldest son's existence. In a famous outtake from that exact speech, Bosley ad-libbed, "Wait a minute, where's Chuck?" The audience laughed. The line was cut. The finale speech is visual proof. Bosley saying 2 kids is the moment the show completed Chuck's erasure. The show that defined American nostalgia ended by pretending part of its own past never happened. Happy Days sold America on 1950s innocence while hiding network battles, medical conditions, and corporate betrayal. The catchphrase was never scripted. The jacket was brown, not black. The cool guy couldn't ride his bike, and the perfect family pretended their eldest son never existed. Which hidden detail surprised you most, and what film should we open next?